dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Olivia Calfee. Tonight, friends and family gathered to remember and honor two young Perry Countyans who died earlier this week. Dozens of people gathered for a candlelight vigil at the Triangle Park in Hazard to celebrate the lives of 18-year-old Anthony Stidham and 20-year-old Braxton Marlowe. The two died in a shooting early Wednesday morning. One of Marlowe's family members says the reality of the situation still does not seem real.
You know, you hear a lot about gun violence and everything, and liquor and this, that, and another, but you can't control everything. God's got a bigger will than we got. He got bigger and better plans. Back in the day, you didn't hear this kind of drama. Now it's everywhere you turn.
During the vigil, many took time to place candles in front of a memorial set up for the two as they shared fond memories of both Stidham and Marlowe. A Rowan County man convicted of killing his girlfriend will officially spend 40 years in prison. Gary Jeffries pleaded guilty last month to murder, evidence tampering, and corpse abuse in the death of Jill Clayton. She was killed around Thanksgiving of 2020. Today in court during the sentencing, Jill's sister, Catherine Holbrook, said she wants people to see her sister for more than her untimely death.
Everything about her has been brought back to things about the crime or things about him or the fact that they had, a toxic, abusive relationship. So I really want to bring the focus back to Jill and all the great things about her and who she was.
Now, Catherine says she wants to encourage anyone who sees someone being hurt or mistreated in a relationship to say something and do something. The Paintsville Fire Department is mourning the loss of a career firefighter, EMT, and trainer. Don Fife spent 4 decades serving the people of Johnson County in one capacity or another. From his time as assistant fire chief to his mission to train new first responders, the 67-year-old retired fireman died Thursday after a long battle with cancer, leaving his family, friends, and fellow firefighters to celebrate the reach he had.
Started out as a firefighter, EMT, moved his way up the rank, but he served his community, not just citizens of Paintsville.
Firefighters say the legacy he leaves behind lives on through the people he poured his passion into, and they will make sure his name is never forgotten.
Well, as advertised, we had temperatures today in the upper 80s and low 90s. We had plenty of sunshine, and now we're seeing one stray shower on live pinpoint Doppler radar. We'll talk about that coming up in about 20 seconds. Highs today made it into the 90s across the area. 90 in Ashland, Prestonsburg 92, 91 in Hazard, 91 in Manchester. Harlan and Jonesville made it to 93, 90 in Monticello, as well as Williamsburg. Right now we have clear skies out there, and we find temperatures in the 70s, even low 80s. 81 in Jackson, otherwise 77 in Prestonsburg, Pikeville 78, 69 in Grundy, as well as Clintwood, 70 in Wise, 77 in Jonesville. There's one stray shower on live pinpoint Doppler radar, and we'll go ahead and pinpoint this. You can see exactly where this is to the south and west of Moorhead, over towards the Frenchburg area, seeing a stray shower. No lightning being picked up at this time. When you wake up in the morning, we'll see temperatures in the 60s and 70s. But how does the weekend look? I'll have that answer in the First Alert forecast in a few minutes. Olivia.
All right, Eric, thank you. Inmates in Kentucky prisons can potentially access expanded Medicaid prior to their release. The new Medicaid program does not, however, include jails. With less resources, Kentucky River Regional Jail Administrator Lonnie Brewer says inmates are less economically stable. Brewer says some inmates end up returning to jail as a result.
Living in jail becomes easier than living at home or in their communities. They may lack resources, they may lack economical resources.
Brewer says after they are released, inmates sometimes repeat actions they were originally arrested for. Officials in Perry County are working to fix issues found in audits Last week, Kentucky Auditor Allison Ball released audits for the Perry County Fiscal Court for the years of 2021 and 2022. Judge Executive Scott Alexander says they are working with the auditor's office to improve the way they work in the fiscal court.
One of the best things that we've started doing is having the department head meetings and telling them exactly how the auditors want POs done, how they want the paperwork presented, how that each department needs to do their purchases and keep up with their reporting. And then once it comes to us, we have the people here that reviews that as well.
Alexander says they hope audits for 2023 and 2024 are clear. He adds they changed software and internal control to mimic that of other counties across the Commonwealth. Governor Andy Beshear is headed to Japan and South Korea today to talk trade and jobs. He says this weekend he'll talk with leaders at existing Kentucky companies and those looking to consider future investment. Beshear's office says the Commonwealth is home to 200 Japanese-owned facilities that employ 47,000 people. Now to the involuntary manslaughter trial of Alec Baldwin, which took a dramatic turn in court today when defense attorneys called for the case to be dismissed. CBS's Elise Preston was inside the court and has more.
A shocking turn of events at this Santa Fe courthouse as the judge dismissed the case.
Dismissal with prejudice is warranted to ensure the integrity of the judicial system and the efficient administration of justice. Your motion to dismiss with prejudice is granted.
Alec Baldwin visibly emotional in court, breaking down, hugging his attorneys. This all came after Friday morning. The judge dismissed the jury on supposed to be day 3 of testimony. Instead, she heard from attorneys after Baldwin's defense claimed prosecutors buried evidence possibly tied to the case. New witnesses were brought in for this hearing. Judge Mary Marlowe Summer put on latex gloves to examine live rounds that the defense believes was intentionally left out of the investigation. The ammunition surfaced years after the shooting, but was never tested to see if it matched live rounds found on set. Jurors were supposed to hear Friday from the movie's armorer, who has already been convicted for involuntary manslaughter, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed. The prosecutor, Carrie Morrissey, even called herself to the stand to walk the judge through the ammunition in question and when the state knew about it.
There is absolutely no evidence that any of that ammunition is related to the incident involving Ms. Hutchins.
So the judge is wrong?
No, I said that I respect the court's decision. I think that people can disagree. I'm disappointed.
And then we found out that her co-counsel resigned Friday afternoon as the motion unfolded. Elise Preston, CBS News, Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Baldwin and other producers of the film still face civil lawsuits from Hutchins' parents and sister. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, President Biden continues on the campaign trail despite continued calls for him to drop out of the race.
And we had temperatures in the 90s today. That trend will continue, but there's a little bit of good news in terms of temperature. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Stay with us.